students, today's lesson is on solving proportions. We're mostly going to be reviewing some different ways we've already talked about to solve proportions. One way we talked about was to use multiplication. So we can see for this particular proportion, it would be very easy to multiply by 3 in the denominator, and we can do the same thing in the numerator to find that x equals 15. For our second example, we're going to solve using the cross products property. So we've used the cross products property to check whether two ratios are proportional, and now we're going to use that cross products property to solve a proportion. So we're going to set our cross products equal to each other. So 10 times x is 10x is equal to 8 times 7 is 56. We'll divide both sides by 10 and get x equals 5.6. This one would be much harder to use that multiplication method because there's not an easy factor, but it works just fine with cross products. Here's another example that we'll try. We're going to set up our cross products first. 3 times y is 3y, and that equals 9 times 17, which is 153. We'll divide both sides of our equation by 3, and we get y equals 51. Last, let's look at an example. Here we have a graph that shows a proportional relationship because we have a straight line and it goes through the origin. And we're going to, it says the graph shows the toll due on a turnpike for driving X miles. So the more you drive, the more you have to pay. It tells us that our toll is $7.50. So we're looking at a toll of $7.50. It's marked here on the graph as 100 miles. But we want to know how many kilometers that is. So we need to convert 100 miles to kilometers. And we can do that 2 different methods. First, we're going to do using a ratio. And we should note, I don't have this on the screen here, but 1 mile is approximately 1.61 kilometers. So when you're doing a conversion problem like this, if it's not an easy one that you should know, I'll give you that conversion. So here we have 100 miles, and we're going to use the ratio of 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. Now, when we multiply, this is 100 miles over 1, right? So our miles will cancel out, and our unit is going to be kilometers. And it'll be 100 times 1.61, which is 161 kilometers. Okay, now we're going to find the same answer by using a proportion. So we know that 1.61 kilometers is equal to 1 mile. So this is the same ratio that we used up here. And we're going to set that equal to another ratio where one of the parts of that ratio is an unknown. So we know we're looking for 100 miles. So we're going to set this up as 100 miles and then x kilometers. So we have kilometers to miles, and we can solve for x. We can do that using cross products. So 1 times x is x, and that equals 1.61 times 100. So x is 161 kilometers. Okay, go ahead and try a few on your own. I do have some useful conversions for you at the end of the on your own that you will need. See you soon.